Welcome mailplussers to this afternoon's quiz. Happy Friday to you all. Apologies for the short delay to the start of today's quiz. There was a small technical hitch that we wanted to resolve so everyone could play along today. And today's game is a very special one, but a very sad one too. It's our final Mailplus Trivia live game. I'm your host Melissa Hartzell, and I have the privilege of being your trivia tour guide for this final instalment. And what's at stake is the same as any previous game. If you manage to answer all 10 questions correctly, as I'm sure you know by now, you'll end up winning yourself a portion of that £1,000 prize, as well as the title of winning the final game, which in some ways is more valuable. And to make sure it's fair, in case it's your first and last time, let's run through those rules. I'll be asking you 10 multiple choice general knowledge questions, touching upon a diverse buffet of tantalizing topics we know you like. As soon as the questions are asked, the countdown clock will start, and that 10 seconds runs out a lot faster than you'd think, so be quick when choosing the option you want to stick with. 10 correct answers for those 10 questions means a share of that £1,000 will be yours. The fewer players left at the end, the bigger the share you'll be rewarded. So let's hope your perfect questions come up this afternoon. We've had some talented mailplussers win the full £1,000 in the past, so it's not beyond the realms of possibility. If you get one wrong, you'll be out of the running for the cash, but you can still play along one last time just for fun. But because there's no games next week, let's hope you sail through to the winner's arena. Okay then, shall we get on with the quiz? Let's begin with question 1. What is the most valuable property on the Monopoly board? Mayfair, Bond Street, The Strand. Monopoly actually originated in the United States, created in Illinois as a way to teach youngsters about tax. It was originally called the landlord's game. It's the two dark blue properties that everyone tries to buy, Park Lane and the most expensive, Mayfair, sold for £400 on the board. It was only recently that the classic boot, thimble and wheelbarrow tokens were deemed too outdated for a younger audience, so they were replaced by public vote with a rubber duck, penguin and T-Rex in 2017. On to question 2. With which animals do you associate the disease myxomatosis? Cows, rabbits, pigs. Myxomatosis is a viral disease that's transmitted from animal to animal by mosquitoes or flea bites, and unfortunately for the host, it's usually fatal. You'd associate the disease with rabbits, and the symptoms are swelling of the eyelids, lesions, a fever, breathing problems, and in the case of European rabbits, death. The release of this disease was intentional as a form of pest control in 1950. So the first 2 questions down, and we've already had a few eliminations. 990 of you, though, remain in the game. But do carry on playing with us. It will be a nice group effort for the final show. Let's get back to it with question 3. In bingo, what number is represented by the call 2 fat ladies? 33, 55, or 88? The game bingo was first called Beano because bingo players used beans to mark the raffled numbers on their cards. Although there is no connection to the famous Beano magazine. 2 fat ladies, as the shape of the numbers suggest, is 88. Apparently, bingo had a very Mediterranean migration, first beginning in Italy, originating from the traditional lottery game they'd play in the 1500s, and from there it crossed borders, moving to France in the late 1700s, where its name evolved to Le Lotto, eventually finding its way over to the UK. Here's question 4. Which part of the body receives oxygen without a blood supply? Cornea, tonsils, or appendix? The human body, as amazing as it is, still has a few evolutionary leftovers that we no longer use. There's a little bump on the top of your ears that is used to help moving them around, enhancing our ability to judge which direction sound is coming from. However, once humans developed flexible necks, it wasn't needed anymore and shrunk in size. The part of our body that receives oxygen without blood supply is the cornea, and that's because transparency is the most important factor for it to enhance our vision, and therefore doesn't contain any blood vessels, so it receives nutrients and oxygen via diffusion from the tear fluid within the eye. Clever. Moving on to question 5. What is a roux? A white sauce, a pastry, a pancake? A a chef's hat isn't just decorative. Different heights may indicate rank within a kitchen. And most interestingly, the many folds of a chef's hat are said to represent the many different ways a chef knows how to cook an egg, the versatile food that it is. A chef would whisk up the mixture of roux, which is a white sauce. And there are 3 types of roux, known as white, blonde, and brown. They all contain the same ingredients, which are made up of equal parts flour and fat, but the colours differ based on how long you cook the mixture for. And we're halfway through now with 5 questions remaining and 470 players still in the game. Well done to you. We still have with us Saw, Malcolm 1953, Susan 2, Sheila 0 and Larry 3 to name and fame a few of you. Keep up the good work. Here's question 6. The fingerprints of a koala bear are indistinguishable from what? Polar bears, gorillas, humans. Koala is thought to mean no drink because they get so much moisture from their diet of eucalyptus leaves that they don't need to drink water all that much. And considering they sleep for up to 18 hours a day, I don't suppose they have much time to either. Their fingerprints are almost indistinguishable from human fingerprints, and in both cases, the use of them is an evolutionary mystery. The closest guess is that they helped our tree-climbing ancestors grip the rough bark of a tree when it was raining, or in today's case, to help get a good swipe on those touch screens of yours. On to question 7. Aeolus was the keeper of what in Greek mythology? Thunder, winds, tides. There were originally 12 titans known as the pre-Olympian gods, who were the offspring of the sky and the earth. These titans were then overthrown by 12 powerful Olympian gods, including Zeus, Apollo and Aphrodite. Although he wasn't deemed a god, Aeolus was the keeper of winds. He's probably best known for giving Odysseus the gift of a western wind to carry him and his shipmates home to Ithaca. He also offered him the gift of a bag containing all winds but the west to use in case he got stuck, which he opened prematurely, sending him right back to Aeolus's island from whence he came. Aeolus offered him no further help. And only 3 questions to go now. Here's question 8. Which of these aliases was not used by Marty McFly in the Back to the Future films? Tom Petty, Calvin Klein, Harry Callahan. The original time machine was going to be a refrigerator until the writers decided on the famous DeLorean car. Ford was so jealous of the product placement that they offered the team £200,000 to use the Mustang, but they refused on the ground that Doc Brown would never drive a Mustang. For a low-budget film, that's a lot of money to turn down. Marty McFly went by both names, Calvin Klein and Harry Callahan, but not Tom Petty, the American singer-songwriter of Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers fame, who were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2002. Marty also went under the names Clint Eastwood, Darth Vader, and Robert Plant. Well done to 152 of you who got that right. That was quite tough because 56 thought it was Calvin Klein and 92 Harry Callahan. But 152 players who are keeping up a good pace. I hope you're feeling confident because we're about to face the penultimate question. It's question 9. Which of these was invented first? Electric toothbrush, dishwasher, or blow dryer? It is said that necessity is the mother of invention, but which one do you think humanity needed first? The electric toothbrush was invented in 1939, the blow dryer in 1920, and the dishwasher as early as 1886. It was invented by Josephine Gary Cochran, a lady who entertained her many guests often. She wanted a machine that could wash her dishes faster than her servants could. She couldn't find one, so she built one herself. And actually, the first prototype isn't too dissimilar from the ones we have today, although it was circular and the dishes were turned on a wheel inside. The final question of the final quiz is just round the corner. Suzanne, Beric, Chloe 6, Saw, Trivia Emperor, Adam 62, Bethany 3, will you claim the title of winning the last quiz? No further waiting. Let's find out now. It's question 10. Which one of these is the odd one out? Pass the duchy, pass the port, pass another car on a UK road. And to finish off, the last question from the final quiz is an odd one out and a real test of just how smoothly the cogs of your brain are greased. If you don't know it, you've got a 1 in 3 chance. It's pass another car on a UK road. And if you're asking why that is, pass the duchy. In the song of the same name, you pass the duchy upon the left-hand side. Tradition dictates that you pass the port clockwise to the left-hand side around the table. But in British traffic, when overtaking, you pass on the right-hand side. Here we are at the end of the final mailplus trivia live game. And we don't have many winners today. We have 36 winners. Congratulations, that was tough. Lee 2020, Mark 33, Jerry, Joshua 1, Griffdog, Maggie. Well done to each and every one of you who managed to get all those correct. What a send-off it's been. That's another successful quiz down, and what a pleasure it's been. So thank you all very much for taking the time to play along with us. It's been fantastic. It wouldn't feel right in the last game to not have a little word from my co-host throughout the past 2 months, Beric Livingston. Well, Beric said...
Apologies for
here he is.
crashing the final game, but having had the privilege to grace your screens every week, it simply wouldn't feel right not to make an appearance once more for the final instalment. This game has become as much of a daily fixture for me as it probably has done for you. Of course, I can't be in the studio today because of social distancing, so I just wanted to record this little message to say thank you all for playing, and I bid you adieu, farewell, and cheerio for now. Goodbye.
Thank you, Beric. Enjoy the rest of your Friday, everyone. Once again, we hope you had as much fun as we did. Thank you all so much for playing. Have a great weekend. Enjoy your winnings. Goodbye from me. All the best. Bye-bye.